In this lecture, we're going to pass on the NPC to the dialog state. Our game can have dozens of NPCs. How does the dialog state know which NPC the player is talking with? Currently, it doesn't. We need the current NPC because the NPC has information on the desired quest item. Players may have dozens of quest items. By having the current NPC, we can check for a specific quest item. Therefore, we're going to pass on the NPC game object to the dialog state. First, let's update the event. Open the Event Manager class. In this class, the NPC is communicating with the UI through an event called onInitiateDialog. During this event, we're sending the inc file to the UI. Along with the story, we should send the NPC. Generics are not limited to one type. We can add a second generic to specify that an object should be sent. Add the game object type. All game objects have this type. Let's update the respective raise method. In this parameter list, add a parameter called NPC with the game object type. Lastly, pass this parameter on to the invoke method. The order of parameters does matter. The first generic has the text asset type. Therefore, the first parameter must have the same type. We can't reverse these parameters. Otherwise, we'd be given an error. After updating the event, the NPC controller breaks. Let's open this file. In the handleInteract method, we're calling the raise method to send the story to the UI. This method throws an error because we're not sending the NPC. In the parentheses, add the game object variable. The monoBehavior class defines this variable for us. It references the game object to which this component is attached. Since we attached this component to the NPC, it should contain a reference to the NPC game object. The last step is to accept the NPC from the UI. Open the UI controller. The NPC should be exposed to the dialog state. However, we can't directly pass this information to the state without accepting the data from the controller. In this class, we're being given an error related to the handleInitiateDialog method. This method can't be registered with the event. It's incompatible because the method does not accept the NPC. Scroll to this method. In the parameter list, add the NPC parameter with the game object class as the type. Next, pass on this object through the setStory method. We created this method to send the story to the dialog state. While sending the story, let's send the NPC's information to the event. After sending this information, let's accept the NPC from the state. Open this file. Scroll to the setStory method. In the parameter list, add the NPC parameter with the game object type. Great! We've successfully grabbed the NPC. The purpose of grabbing the NPC was to begin initiating the process of checking the player's inventory. The NPC knows which item they want. Specifically, the desired quest item is stored in the NPC controller. Rather than storing the NPC object, let's grab the NPC controller component. At the top of the file, add the rpg.character namespace. Adding the namespace gives us access to the component's class. At the top of the class, add a variable called NPC controller component. Its type will be the NPC controller class. Back in the setStory method, let's set this variable to the following method: npc.getComponent NPC controller. We're finished. It was a lot of information to pass around. However, this information is going to help us verify the quest. Before moving on, let's try testing our code. Switch over to Unity to play the game. I'm going to talk with the NPC. If an error does not get thrown in the console, we can safely assume that everything is working. The next step is to initiate the verification process. In the next lecture, let's begin checking the player's inventory.